In what might be the most shocking trade in NBA history, the Dallas Mavericks sent 25-year-old MVP candidate Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers. The league was blindsided. Luka hadn't demanded a trade. The Mavericks weren't forced into a rebuild, and yet they traded away a generational talent still entering his prime.
Luka maneuvers away from a closeout.
Something we've never seen at this level. On the surface, the trade itself raised eyebrows. Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris were dealt to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a single first-round pick. The Utah Jazz joined as a third team, taking in Jalen Hood-Schifino and 2 second-round picks to make the salaries and logistics work. But once the dust settled, fans and analysts alike were left asking one thing: why? To understand the real reason behind this unprecedented move, we have to look far beyond stats and cap space. This wasn't about basketball talent, it was about belief, frustration, and fear. The Luka dilemma. From a basketball standpoint, Luka Doncic is untouchable. His career scoring average ranks 3rd all time, trailing only Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. He's one of just 3 players in NBA history, alongside Oscar Robertson and LeBron James, to average at least 25 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists for a career.
Brings it down towards a minute to play in the first quarter. Luka with a step up.
Players like that don't get traded. They become the face of a franchise for decades. But Luka's issues weren't on the court. They were off it, and in some cases, related to what was happening in between possessions. According to ESPN, the Mavericks were deeply frustrated with Luka's ongoing conditioning problems. Team sources pointed to his lack of discipline with diet and training as a major contributor to his frequent injuries. He was reportedly weighing close to 270 pounds this season, up 40 pounds from his rookie year listing of 230. And this wasn't just about aesthetics, this was about availability. The Mavericks believed Luka's conditioning wasn't just hurting his longevity, it was actively damaging their ability to win now. When he strained his calf around Christmas, the reaction inside the organization wasn't, "What bad luck?" It was, "This is your fault." Though Luka's numbers remained elite, there were warning signs beyond injuries. His effort on defense was often criticized. He became a liability during the finals last year. Analysts like Brian Windhorst ripped his performance. And while fans pushed back, the Mavericks quietly agreed. They believed Luka's poor conditioning and defensive shortcomings were holding them back, not lifting them up. There were also moments that rubbed the front office the wrong way. After clinching the finals berth last year, Luka celebrated with a beer. What seemed like a harmless moment to fans was seen as another example of poor discipline by Dallas. GM Nico Harrison was even caught on camera swiping the beer out of Luka's hand. It might have been funny at the time, but behind the scenes, it symbolized growing tension. The LeBron factor. In a twist of irony, Luka is now paired with his childhood idol LeBron James in Los Angeles, and the Lakers didn't even know it was coming. Reports say LeBron was out to dinner with his family when the news broke, and Devin Booker, playing a game at the time, thought a fan shouting Luka was traded must have meant Luka Garza, not Doncic. Yet, the deal was real and eerily quiet. Mavericks GM Nico Harrison reportedly initiated the trade by calling Lakers GM Rob Pelinka, a longtime acquaintance from their days connected to Kobe Bryant. Nico trusted Rob to keep things quiet and leak-free, and the Lakers pounced. But the Mavericks didn't open Luka's availability to the rest of the league. They didn't ask for every team's best offer. That's not how blockbuster deals of this magnitude usually work. And that's the biggest clue that this wasn't a basketball decision. It was an emotional one. The Zion-Kawhi paranoia. What truly pushed Dallas to pull the trigger was a growing fear inside the organization that Luka would become the next Zion Williamson or Kawhi Leonard. Brilliant, but unreliable. The Mavs didn't want to be stuck in a long-term cycle of moody superstars, load management, and injury-plagued seasons.
Luka drives. Achua up on Luka. Luka has got him in the blender. And the rainbow!
They wanted out before it was too late. It wasn't that Luka demanded a trade. He didn't. It was that the Mavericks decided they no longer wanted to build around him. They believed the cost of keeping him, physically, emotionally, and organizationally, was too high. They were betting against Luka's future, betting that he won't win MVPs, that he won't win championships, that his best days may already be behind him due to his own lack of discipline. Why Anthony Davis? The trade return shocked most analysts. A GM texted Zach Lowe immediately after the deal saying, quote, "That's a terrible return. Luka could have netted almost any superstar or a haul of 8 to 10 first-round picks. And yet, Dallas chose Anthony Davis, a 32-year-old with a checkered injury history, and Max Christie. Why? Because the Mavericks want to win now. They didn't want picks. They didn't want to wait for prospects to develop. Nico Harrison believes in defense, and AD brings it. The idea is to pair Davis with Daniel Gafford, and when healthy, Derek Lively II, to form a strong front court. Kyrie Irving runs the offense with Spencer Dinwiddie backing him up. Christie provides 3 and D spacing, and the Mavericks believe they still have a contending roster. That's why they didn't wait for the summer, when Luka's value would have exploded. Waiting could have meant sacrificing a playoff run this season. Nico made a decision: get the player they want, not the best offer on the table. The slap in the face. For Luka, the trade is both a reset and a rejection. He reportedly stood to lose over $116 million by not signing a Supermax in Dallas. He can make that money up later, but the message was clear. The team didn't believe in him. To be the first MVP caliber player traded this young without a trade request is unprecedented. Luka wasn't a free agent walking away. He wasn't an asset the Mavericks actively chose to move on from, and that speaks volumes. Now, Luka lands in one place that might actually be good for him: Los Angeles, under LeBron James. If anyone can model elite professionalism, discipline, and longevity, it's LeBron. The hope, at least for the Lakers and their fans, is that this is the wake-up call Luka needs to fully realize his potential and lock in on what it takes to be great off the court, not just on it. But even now, questions linger. Was it the right move? Did Dallas overreact? Will Luka bounce back and make them regret it? Or will the Mavs be proven right as Luka's conditioning issues continue to plague him? The real reason Luka Doncic was traded had nothing to do with talent. It had everything to do with trust. The Mavericks stopped trusting Luka to lead their franchise for the next decade, not because of his skill, but because of his discipline. They feared the long-term headaches would outweigh the highlights. Whether that fear was justified or foolish, only time will tell. But one thing is certain: this wasn't just a basketball trade. It was a calculated gamble rooted in frustration, anxiety, and a belief that sometimes letting go of greatness is the only way forward, even if it makes no sense in the moment.